Good morning, class. Once again, this is your teacher Maricel. For today's lesson, we will discuss one of the most important topics in computer programming. This is algorithm. Algorithm is a step-by-step process in order for us to come up with our desired output. Algorithm is generally developed before the actual coding of the program. It is written using English language so that it is easily understandable even by the non-programmers. What are the advantages of writing an algorithm? First, it is to promote effective communication between the team members. Next, it enables analysis of problems at hand. Next, it acts as blueprint for coding. Next, it assists in debugging. And another one, it becomes part of software documentation for future references during maintenance of the program. What are the characteristics of a good algorithm? First, it has a set of inputs. Next, its steps are uniquely defined. Another one, it has a finite number of steps. And the last one is it produces a desired output. Let us first take an example of a real-life situation on how to make an algorithm. So we will take as an example an algorithm on how to cook rice. So we all know that not all of us are using rice cooker in cooking rice. Some are still using the traditional way. So we will have the two examples for that in making algorithms the traditional way and the modern way. Okay, so how are we going to make an algorithm in cooking rice in traditional way and an algorithm in cooking rice the modern way? So check this out. So this is the algorithm in cooking rice the traditional way. First, you have to build an even low temperature fire using firewood or charcoal. Next, put some uncooked rice in a pot. Of course, you have to measure that according to how many cup of rice you want to cook. Next, rinse off the rice. Swish the rice gently using your fingers and rub lightly. Next, pour out the starchy water. You can repeat it for 1 to 2 times depending on how starchy the rice is. Next, after pouring out the water for the last time, add clean water to the pot. You can add 1 and 1/2 to 2 cups of water for 1 cup of rice. Next, cover the pot and bring to a boil. Next, lower down the heat after it boils. And then let the rice to simmer for 15 minutes. And for the last one, serve the rice. So as you notice, in making the algorithm in cooking rice the traditional way, we did not use words that are not understandable to everybody. So we only use words that can be understood by anyone, even if they are not programmers. So we use the English language so that this algorithm will be understandable to anybody who can read this algorithm. Okay, so this time we'll have the algorithm in cooking rice the modern way. A while ago, we have our algorithm in cooking rice using the traditional way. Okay, actually, there's no big difference in the algorithm in cooking rice using the modern way compared to the traditional way. Only that in the modern way, we use the technology and we can call it as a automated way of cooking rice, and while in the traditional way, we can consider it as manual. Okay, so this time we'll have the algorithm in cooking rice. Please take note the words that we use in making the algorithm. First, it should be simple words, and it should be understandable by anyone, anywhere in the world who can read this algorithm. Make sure that the algorithm you're making is using the simple words, and even if you're not a programmer, you can easily understand what you are trying to say in your algorithm. By the way, if you are making an algorithm, you have to write this down, and you may not memorize the algorithm, and it should be also numbered so that you will know on what process are you going to, what step are you going to enhance while your program is underway. And for you guys also who are developing a program, you can easily look into your algorithm on which procedure or which step you're going to make some revisions. Okay, so let's now have the algorithm in cooking rice the modern way. So first, you have to put some uncooked rice in the rice cooker. Next, you have to rinse off the rice. Swish the rice gently with your fingers and rub lightly, and then pour out the starchy water. You can repeat it for 1 to 2 times depending on how starchy the rice is. And another one, the next step is, after pouring out the water for the last time, add clean water to the pot. You can add 1 1/2 to 2 cups of water for 1 cup of rice. And then number 5, cover the rice cooker. And then next, turn on the rice cooker. And next one is, when the rice cooker indicator displays cooked, you may now serve the rice. So there's no big difference between the modern way and the traditional way. Only that the difference is that in the modern way we use technology, while in the traditional way we use the traditional way of cooking the rice using the firewood or the charcoal. Okay, while in the modern way we use the electricity. Okay, so that is how to make an algorithm using the modern way, and a while ago we discussed the algorithm using the traditional way. It's for us to understand and then observe how are we going to make this algorithm. We need to remember words should be simple, words should be understandable, and then words should be read even by non-programmers. This time, we will make an algorithm on how the real computer programmers make it. So, we will take an example on how to make an algorithm for a program that will ask the user to input a number, and the program will going to identify if the number is a positive or negative. Okay, so how are we going to make an algorithm for this one? So check this out. Okay, so this is how to make an algorithm for a program that will ask the user to input a number, and the program will going to identify if the number is a positive or a negative. So how are we going to do this? First, you are going to write down there, display any input number. So the number 1 on your algorithm is display any input number, meaning to say the program will going to display this text, input any number, meaning to say the user who will be using this program will going to input any number. Okay, next, read number, meaning to say the program will going to read the number that is being input by the user. So meaning to say, this algorithm is really for the computer. Okay, so the number one algorithm here is display input number, and then the second one is read number. Next, while the program is reading the number, at the same time the program is also identifying up on what the number or what kind of number has been input by the user. Okay, so it states here, if number is equal to 0, so as you'll notice, you have here equal is that is equal in computer programming. So we just use this symbol double equal. So that is equivalent to equal in computer programming. So we have here, if number that is being input by the user is equal to 0, the program will display you entered 0. Okay. Next, if the number that is being input by the user and it is being read by the computer, and while the program is reading the number that is input by the user, nakita niya that the number is greater than 0, the program will display you entered a positive number. Okay? The next one is, while the program is running and then reading the number that is being input by the user, and it states there, according to the readings of the program had identified that the number is less than 0, it will display you entered a negative number. Okay? So next, end of program. So we are not going to do more things beyond that is being asked in the program. So if our program here is just to input a number, and then the program will identify if the program is a positive or negative, yun lang ang gagawin natin. Hindi tayo gagawa ng iba pa. Give what is being asked. So in computer programming, we have that WYSIWYG, or what you see is what you get. So if you only have seen here, input any number, and then you all know that the program will going to display the number that you have given is a positive or a negative, and that will be what you're going to get from the program. Okay, so notice that in this algorithm, we use the simple words like display. We can also use the word print, input any number, and then in the number 2 we use that read num. Okay, if you notice, we use this word num, meaning to say it is a number. And actually in the later discussions in computer programming, you will learn that num, or a number or any data coming from the user, will be using and storage for that, and that we call that as this is just an advanced information. We call that as a variable and a constant. We can have that one. And num is as what I have observed here in the computer programming algorithm. Num here is an identifier for a variable. Okay, this is just a variable. Okay. So notice here in number 3, step number 3, if num is equal to 0, so meaning to say in making the algorithm, we can use the operators. The equal is an operator, and also the positive sign and the negative sign. We also have here the greater than and the less than sign. Those are also in arithmetic operators. So in computer programming, in making the algorithm, for any program in computer programming, we will be using symbols that is understandable by the computer programmers, but the words that we'll be using here should be simple and concise according to how the programmer and even the non-programmers would understand. Okay, so notice also here that in number 6, step number 6, we have here end of the program. We need to write down end of the program so that the computer will going to know when are we going to stop. That's it. So very simple, and you need not create an algorithm that is beyond what is being asked in the program. So if you are being asked to to make an algorithm for a program that will add two numbers, simply ask two numbers from the user, and then your computer will going to do the rest. Okay, let's say input two numbers, and then you are going to use variables A for the first number, B for the second number, and then your step number 3 is add A plus B, and then for your fourth is give the result of the A plus B, and then number 5 end the program. So that's it. There's no sugar coating in algorithm. We just need to put what is being asked, write but what is being asked, and give the command for the program for what is being asked. So that's it. Algorithm is very simple, and if you will go deeper into it, you will enjoy making the algorithm for a computer programming.